Hi, Cindy. There's Connie. Hi, Cindy. I know there'll probably only be a few of us on because I changed the time. But we're supposed to have a bad storm tonight, so I figured I better do it early. All right, I'll just wait a couple more minutes just in case people happen to see the notification. All right. I'm sure I'll have more people watch the replay. It's Diane. Welcome, welcome. Okay, well, we'll get started. If you're going to place an online order for the month of September, this is celebration month. It does end September 30th. This is the host code if your order is less than $150 that I'd like you to use. I'm sure everybody that's on knows my name. My name is Queen Sandin, and I did change this class to earlier because of the pending severe storms that they're talking about for tonight. So let me get started. So card number 1 is this pretty fall card. I know I've done leaves in the past. I just love to do them. And I always think that they're worth repeating because many people like me like them. So this is called a mini slimline card. I see Joanne has joined us. So this is 6.5 by 6, I believe. I always get my measurements. Yeah, 6.5 by 6, scored at 3 1/4. Then my piece of designer paper is 3 by 6, and then I have another strip for here. So I wanted to show you how to make these leaves. The other card will have 3 different leaves and pumpkins. They're kind of all done in the same process. There's not much difference. So let's get started. I'm going to set these aside. I like to use my large block, but if you don't have that, but you have a smooth embossing plate, you can use that. Over the years of doing this many times, I have learned that new tricks all the time. So one of them is if you have a slippery surface, it seems to work a little bit better. I'm just having some alcohol in a spray bottle. And I'm going to spray it off camera on both sides so you can see it's pretty wet. I like to use alcohol because it dries fast. So I see a couple more people have joined us. Welcome, Pat and Ronnie. I'm so glad to see you. So now I'm going to open it back up. This one here is a little bit smaller. This is for demonstration purposes. I used an old die, but you can check in your supplies and see if you have a die or maybe a punch. This was from a punch, but the principle is the same. So I'm going to start off with a very light color, like Kush Curry, and my blending tools. I'm going to put it on my block just because it brings it up a little bit more. I think you can see it better. So I like to put my ink. I'm getting worried about using my blender pens on my blending brushes over and over on my pads. I noticed one of them that I used it quite a bit the other day seems to be getting some blemishes. So I'm going to start doing it on a different surface. So you can see I'm going to pick up some of the ink. I do both sides. And I love how it causes this distress. So that's it. I'm going to set that aside and grab another color. Because I don't want to transfer the color from one stamp pad to another, I'm just going to wipe this off quickly with my rag. And now I'm going to use Mango Melody. I like that one versus paper, the pumpkin, just because it does have a yellow tinge to it, and I think it helps a little bit. So now I have that one on my block. And I put my leaf back on, and I'm only going to do the edges. And I'll show you what it does. Just a second, I'll bring it up a little bit closer. So you can see that we have the crushed curry in the mango. Now I'm going to bring in my cherry cobbler. Same process. This is really red, but I love it. And I'm just doing the edges, and that you will not have two leaves that are the same. And I always do both sides in case it curls up. So normally I wouldn't have put this much on because I was going to do a bunch of them. I'm going to set this aside just for a minute because I'm going to be using that red. Let me grab another block. Actually, I'm going to use this so you can see it. Now we need some cinnamon cider or some kind of a light brown ink that you might have. Everybody has it a little different. Now this time, I'm going to pick up a dauber because I want to be careful. I just want it on my edges. And I want it a little bit intense. Oops, I grabbed the wrong one. Whoops, here it is over here. So I'm going to put it here. Just don't be afraid of color. Don't be afraid of color. Those of you that have been with me, we've made many different color leaves over the years. Now with that same stamp pad, I want to put some speckles. Now you can either flick this, or I'm going to use this like speckle from the Forever Fern stamp set. Now, where did I put that stamp? Right there. And again, I'm using the cinnamon cider. Now, I would suggest that you do these ahead of time. Let them dry really well before you put them on your card because they're very damp after you've put all of that ink on there. So there's the small version. I'm going to set this aside and we'll make this card, and then I'll show you how I did the other ones. Let me just wipe my hands a little bit. So how is everybody today? It's very, very muggy out. It's weird out. I just came in from walking the dog. Connie says she likes to do them, but she has to wear gloves. Yeah, if you don't like to get dirty, I would suggest that. Okay, so let's bring the card in. So again, very simple. 6.5 by 6 1/4. This is the Timeless texture paper. I know it's a little bit more expensive, but you get more paper too, so it kind of offsets itself. You get 12 sheets, 12 designs, 2 sheets of each. So you end up with 24 sheets of paper. Let me hold this down just for a minute. And then I had some scraps in my package. I'll try to get I probably won't get the measurements up tomorrow. I kind of have a busy day planned. But I will by Friday. I just want to make sure my card is nice and straight so I can put this on nice and straight. So this time I'm putting it up top. I want you to see how you can make the same layout but just move things around. I always encourage people, if you find a layout that you like, put it in a book or something and then make multiples when you're ready. Okay, so now I'm going to put my leaf on. Which side do I like better? I think I'm going to put it this way. Put this on the back. I would really encourage you to use wet glue or some strong adhesive because the paper's a little bit flimsy from getting saturated so much. A very fall card for sure. You could use it for Thanksgiving. And then we need a little twine. So this particular twine is on a roll. So sometimes it's a little bit harder to do because it's so rolled up. So I had somebody yesterday ask me to show the bunny ears again. So 2 loops, cross them over, put 1 loop through that loop. Practice, 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 and you will get it. Looks like it's a little short, so I want to redo it. 2 loops. The reason that I like this is because normally the bow will come out pretty flat. Alright, so now we need ribbon scissors right here. Do you guys all have ribbon scissors? I do. Those of us that are quilters probably do. Thank you, Cindy. I'm glad you like it. I'm just putting a little dot of glue. Holding that there 1 second. Let me grab my box of embellishments and see. Oh, I have it right here. These are the champagne rhinestones. To me, they're perfect for fall. So let's put a little triangle of embellishments. It's just pleasing to the eye. That's the only. And then let's really give our right there. So you can see that the difference. This one here I popped up. This one's flat. I moved the greed in, but it's the same layout, same tricks. All right, so the next card I wanted to create. You're gonna laugh. Last night I had a person here working on some cards, and this is an oak tree and this is an ash. I couldn't think of what the name of it was, and then of course our pumpkin. So let's start with the oak one. So this one here, what I did was I didn't have to wet it because I'm only going to fold it in half. Grab my bone folder. Then I take my piercing mat and just make some veins, I guess they're called. Don't have to worry about being perfect. Leaves are not perfect. They're all unique, just like people. So you can see on the other side. Let me bring in, and let that dry. Wipe this off. It's all water-based, so you can go and wash this off after when you're all done. Okay, so again, we're going to put a little bit of crushed curry. So I want to make sure my ridges are up, so I'm just going to brush a little bit extra before I flip it over. I want some of that texture. And I love using the plate or your block because it slides so much smoother. All right. So, oak trees have a lot of red. So I'm going to put this down towards the end of them. I want some of this rigidness to show. Then I just want a little bit on the tips. There. So you can add as much as you want. I do need to clean my fingers, as Connie says. I got lots of red ink on my hands right now. So that takes care of that one. Now the last little leaf I wanted to do is ash. So again, I did the same thing that I did with the other one. I just folded it in half. Tried to make some ridges with my bone folder or stylus. Okay, so now we're going to use green. Actually, I did put a little bit of yellow, so let me just put a whisker. Very, very lightly. You want more green, but to get that highlighted, sometimes you need to use yellow to offset it. You're going to love the blend brushes for this. All right. Let me clean this off again. And then I'm going to take Granny Apple Green and Garden Green. I am going to use the same brush. It's okay. Now, if you don't have a clean embossing plate, you will get some of those ridges that you may not want. So, I'm going to pick up some of this Granny Apple Green. And don't worry about if your paper rips, it's fine. Then I can pick up some of this. And here I'm going to put my tip in because I want a lot on my tip. Don't be afraid. It's only paper. There. So we have our 3 leaves done. Wipe my hands one more time. And we'll make that last card. Alright, so this one I'm using Cajun. I did a painted texture with, you know, the regular 4 by 5 1/4. And I have a dry one of these, so I'm going to use this. I have to stick these in. So again, I'm not being careful at all. It's basically what I'm going to do. Just go for it. I'm going to put some wet glue behind it. I think I want this side up. So I'm going to put this. Something like that. And I always use the double oval punch, and I punched out a whole bunch of ovals. And you're going to do the same thing that you have been doing with the others, except for you're going to use a dauber this time. We're just going to shade the edges. Hopefully you can see that. Put more on this one. All right. So I'm going to take a little piece of masking tape or Scotch tape, whatever you want to use. Put 2 of these face down. And put the masking tape to hold them together. And then this one here, we're going to put some stamping dimensionals behind it. Just 2. And let me see if I got some brown scraps here. So to make the top of my pumpkin stem, I'm just going to notch this out and then take another piece, kind of like that. Take a glue dot, and then I'll trim it after I get it attached. So let me grab a glue dot here. I don't know if you've bought any glue dots, but I just got these from Stampin' Up! And to me, they seem backwards. They put them on the roll a little different. So then I'm going to stick that like that. And then you just take your scissors and cut this straight. There's your stem for your pumpkin. Now I'm not going to put any more dimensionals behind here because I've already got some. So I'm just going to put some wet glue. Kind of right there. Then we're going to grab some more of this baker's twine. Again, I like to hold it on with the cheating method. You're all familiar with that. Hi, Patsy. I see Patsy's joined us. Okay, so I'm taping this down. Cindy, I hope you're okay out there in California. How's the fires doing out there? You have glue dots all over your table? From what, Ronnie? Oh, because they're on backwards now? Yeah, yep, I know, yeah. That happened to me too. But they're all made by the same company, so I'm guessing it's the company that has changed the way they're doing it. Okay, some wet glue. Get the scrap out of the way. All right, let me grab some more of the twine to make my bow. I call it twine, but it's really called linen thread, people. So if you go look for it on the website, you need to be looking for linen thread. I love making these leaves. I made a whole bunch of them yesterday. I figure if I'm going to get messy, might as well get messy, right? Okay, so let's get the ribbon scissors one more time. And I did have my greeting on the table here someplace. So this is going to go right here. And we're going to use my favorite punch. Oh, I'm so glad you like them, Cindy. Very nice fall cards. I see my greeting. So my greeting is from the Banner Year, which the punch went with last year. It was a bungle. But when they carry them over, they're not a bungle anymore. So these are drying up good. So we want to cut this. A little bit. Scissors. A little bit of Tombow. I can't wait to see if you guys make some leaves and post them. I'd love to see them. Let me put some pop-ups behind that. I'm going to put a few because of the textured. So there. Here's the leaves. Let me bring in the other samples. So one notification, I am going to be changing the time I do my classes. I just think one of the issues that we've noticed, my son works in cybersecurity, said one of the issues is that there are so many people online at night that he thought maybe I might have better luck doing the day. So you will see a new pop-up, new event scheduled. I'm thinking about 3 o'clock on the same day today. And if we see that that doesn't work, this time works perfect. I didn't even have a flicker. You can always catch the replay if you're not on at that time. Doesn't change any. So here are the different leaves. If you happen to have vintage leaves dyes, that's what I used. But you could, there's so many leaf dyes out there right now and punches. So have fun. I hope you make some. I can't wait to see what you make. And please share. You take care of yourselves, everybody. Please stay safe and be kind to each other. Bye-bye now. I'll see you next week.